Now. All right, welcome to the TS Training Systems fourth interview. I'm joined on the line by Jamie Smith, a former player of the CHS soccer team. I've known Jamie for well over 20 years. We grew up together and played soccer together since we were about 6 years old, all the way through the high school. So it's excellent to have him back on here and give us some insight as to what he's been up to. Jamie, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me, Tommy. I'm glad you're doing this and staying connected with Cheshire High School soccer team.
Yeah, definitely. So give us a little background of kind of, we played some high school soccer and then kind of what happened after that.
Yeah, so like you said, we grew up playing comp soccer. Cheshire Red Raiders, best team in the history of Cheshire soccer. Then we all played together at Cheshire High School. Highlight, I think, for me was our senior year, making it to the state semifinals. And then I went on and played college soccer at Hobart College, Division III. We were fortunate enough to go to the NCAA tournament once. I'm not sure if you guys did over at Keene, but
we did.
So
nice first round bust, which is just
Hey, we were a second round bust because we had a first round bye. But yeah, so I went to college, played all 4 years, was a captain for 2, and I owe a lot of it to kind of our Cheshire High School and Cheshire experience.
Nice, man. I agree 100%. So, this is a question we've asked like all these guys. What's the difference between high school and college?
Speed. The college, even at D3, it is super fast and technical. Now, I will say at Cheshire, they did a good job, especially Coach Bronco, focusing on technical skill, technical ability. And I think that was before high school programs started integrating it in there. But the speed, that was a tough thing for me to transition into. It was almost like being a freshman in high school when you first come up from middle school. Game moves faster, everybody's a little bit stronger than you are. Had to make that transition at college, and it worked. I ended up actually changing positions, playing center mid, then center back my last 2 years, which I was never a defender.
No.
I left that to you guys.
That's like center back. That goes from basically center mid being the center of attention and getting the ball time to center back, which means you just like you clear it or you play the ball and then you get crushed like half the other time. You just run
just yell and play. The time on your side and hope he doesn't screw up.
Hope he gets it there. It's almost like a demotion.
As a promotion, I didn't have to run as much.
Yeah, that is true. What's funny is you say like it's so much faster. I remember when Coach was helping me get into Keene, and he goes to the head coach asking me, he goes, "Well, is he fast?" And Coach goes, "Well, he's not lightning, right?" And I remember I was like, "Oh, that's not good." Like, because everything is like it's all sped up, everybody's faster and stronger. And the first thing this guy hears, he's like, "Well, he's not lightning." I'm like, "Okay, it's the next college, just call somebody else." So
thanks, Coach.
Yeah, he also said some other really good things that helped me out tremendously. So obviously it worked. But that's like the thing that keeps reoccurring. Like we hear in like all these interviews is the game gets sped up because you now have basically these like the next tier elite level kids all in one space, and they're faster, stronger, and they know how to play. So it's also at a much quicker pace.
Yeah, I mean, even at D3, it is fast.
Yeah. All right, cool. Who helped you out the most getting to get you where you were?
I would say getting to college, it was definitely Coach Bronco, Coach Joe Garral, who did our comp team, and then your dad. Honestly, your dad helped us. He was so committed to the Red Raiders. And no, seriously, your dad and Mr. Wolf brought in professional coaches. They coached us to kind of the ability they could. And then they said, you know what, if our kids are going to succeed in high school and college, let's bring in some technically skilled guys who know it better. And if it wasn't for them kind of professionalizing Cheshire soccer at the competition level, I don't think our class would have been nearly as successful in high school. And then when you go to high school, I mean, if you think about it, Coach Bronco was he's a guy who should be coaching college or could be coaching college, but he's made a decision to coach in high school. But so we had kind of that advanced coaching, I would say our last 6-7 years before we went to college. So those were good building blocks to kind of get us prepared for when we were at the college level.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I just remember like day one at Keene and being like, Coach Bronco was like light years ahead of this guy. Right. And like half the kid, like not only just in terms of like the style that they played, I'm like, you have the players, to actually play like good soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's thing was like, all right, send it. The guy up front is fast. I was like,
Yep.
We got past that, like what you said, after like when we were like U11 comp, when we finally got Corral, like there was no more like, all right, just kick it and hopefully it'll get there. It was like, all right, let's possess the ball and move it. And then that was nice because then we didn't have to run as much because we had possession the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, even if you think about it, like the systems he would put in, we never played a straight format. We would adapt to whoever we were playing.
Yeah.
And I don't think you probably normally have that at a high school level. You certainly do at college, and you may be playing, outside mid one position for one game, but then your coach is changing and bringing you inside or doing something different. You're playing with two up top, or you're going to sit back, play a little more defense, and play one. That adaptation Bronco brought, I think, at a high school level that made it easier to transition.
Well, do you remember when we played a 3-5-2? I think was that Nevin's year or is that?
Probably was, yeah.
And I remember being an outside back and just being like, "This is the worst formation I've ever been." Because I think it was me and Pat Danby, and all we did was chase people back and forth, like switching. And it was just, I've never run so much in my life. I was like, "Please switch to a 4-person back."
Yeah. I mean, it is, but you learn how to do it.
Yes, but you learn how to play. Correct.
You probably saw at Keene, like a lot of kids have never played that system. They're used to a 4-4-2 or something a little bit easier.
So what kind of alluded to, all right, what was the best part of CHS soccer?
I would say playing with you guys. I mean, we had a core group. I think the nice thing about kind of our grade, our class, was we were kind of varsity players early on, and I think that paid off our senior year. Making it to state semifinals, unfortunately losing in PKs, me missing one. Still thinking about it, though I made mine in college. I will say that to make it to the NCAA tournament. But playing with you guys, it made it fun. It was a group of guys that you grew up with, and we cared about soccer. It wasn't kind of a sport our parents wanted us to play. Yeah. We were doing it every weekend, all the time. And it was kind of your good friends you were playing with, going playing with you at your house, going over to Curtis Wolf's house. It really was an important bond that we had, and I think we had some success because of that.
Yeah, I can't imagine not having that much time, understanding, just like between like knowing that your brother would be on the left side, right, and could handle any ball pretty much and take off, or getting the ball on the outside and we could play you in the middle and you would either know to play it back to Buchanan and we'd swing it and go the other way, or if it's on, turn and go. Like that's this kind of stuff where you don't learn how to do that in a year or 2 years. Like you have to kind of like know who that person is to figure that out quickly.
Yeah.
And that's also why we like dismantled teams half the time too, was because we were just light years ahead of them in that instance. So
and think about it. Most of us were committed to, we weren't playing 3 or 4 different sports. We were playing fall soccer, spring soccer. We were playing indoor soccer. It was just continuous. So you knew where everybody was going to be. And to a certain extent, the transition from indoor to outdoor, you weren't playing the same position indoor that you're playing outdoor. So you had to adapt, and everybody was kind of doing that the whole time.
What did you like better, indoor or outdoor soccer?
Outdoor, man.
Ugh.
Outdoor. Indoor, it's hockey, and you're bouncing stuff off. And yeah, it can be fun, but soccer outdoors, nice big field. It's beautiful to play, beautiful to watch. If you're a little more technically gifted, you can have fun. Outdoors, make somebody look silly. Indoors, you're knocking off the wall.
Yeah, but so
not true soccer.
Coming from the defensive end, right? So like senior year, we had such a tough time scoring, right? Yeah. And at least in indoor, like if you're a defender, you still get to rocket shots like all day long, right? Yeah. Yeah. That was like such a better thrill. Like, all right, I can finally like showcase whether or not when I say, oh, if I was up front, I'd be able to score. Like at least you can demonstrate whether or not you have the ability. It's
measurable for it.
Yeah. I would indoor all day long. I would much rather do that than play outdoor.
Like a true defender.
Exactly. What would you have done differently, or knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently going through high school?
I wish I had taken kind of the physical side of it more seriously. So, I went in all of 115 pounds, scrawny little freshman who didn't want contact, right? I think a lifting program like you push for is good for a freshman to kind of go and start building your body. I mean, we had that towards the end of our Cheshire High School experience. We certainly had it in college, and my body changed shape and size And it really did help me in college. I put on weight, put on muscle, and also you kind of learn how to take care of your body better. When you go in freshman year and you're a little bit smaller, you kind of count on your natural ability. So, I maybe thought I was faster than other people, so I just run by them. Well, if I had kind of a weightlifting program that I took seriously, right? And it wasn't just when Coach Bronco's there, but it was off season, all the time. I wonder how much more skilled we could have all been our senior year, and because we were growing. But those first 2 years, you're small, and you take a hit and you bounce off the ball right away and you lose it, and that's how some teams would figure out how to attack our team, was to go and knock the smaller guys off the ball.
Yeah, just even like in terms of confidence, like just building up some of that confidence to be able to still go into a 50-50 challenge.
Yep.
You're getting too, right? You get hit off the ball once, you're not going to like want to go in hard again the next time. So kind of, I think that's a crucial part of it. But yeah, I always think about that. I do come back to like, oh, what would have happened if we had hit those PKs, or if like that ball that we put who was Stegosaurus? What was that kid's name?
Kyle,
right? Remember we put a ball through him on a diagonal. He ran onto it and like could have had a shot. And I was like, oh, what if that went in? And then I always think now, I'm like, what if we had a lifting program? Would we have been even more like dominant in some of those things to like, get to that last little bit? That does enter the back of my head quite a bit.
Yeah, I think we wouldn't have gone to PKs, man. We wouldn't.
No, I don't think so either.
And now that kid's doing stand-up comedy.
No way.
That's what it's, yeah.
Interesting. So you already touched on this quite a bit though, but what was your like team culture then in college? Like we had a very tight-knit group in high school. How did it play out in college?
It was the same thing. It was kind of, our team motto was teammates for life. We all lived together, best friends all 4 years. Our program was pretty serious. So we did a trip to Europe together. That was a good bonding experience. That was actually the summer before we made the NCAA tournament. And I think it was that camaraderie that really helped put us over to the next level to make the tournament. Very technical. I mean, it was a professionalized program. Our coach had been there for about 5 years. Previously, he was at Plymouth State, and he brought in just a good program that took soccer seriously. It was up early, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, runs and weights in the off season, but it kind of, you were with your buddies. So it didn't seem as bad as it probably was at the time. And it was good. And still we talk to each other all the time and really still keep connected, both with my class, but the classes that were before and after us.
Yeah. As soon as you guys went to Europe, I'm like, oh, remember when we went to Poland?
Yeah.
Seems like the unifying factor is you have to take a soccer trip to Europe to actually get things connected.
Exactly. Poland was a fun trip.
Oh man.
Never we hit that guy, but yeah.
I that kind of was like, I remember just like when people are like, oh, have you've been to like Europe or anything? I'm like, yeah. You know what I've learned from that? Don't drive there. Right? Ride your bike on the side of the road because you will get hit. Awesome, man. Well, any other thoughts in terms of like what you would tell a incoming freshman about to go into high school soccer?
I would say like there's really, as a freshman, there's 2 things you can control: your attitude and your effort. Your attitude as you're not going to know everything. Look to the seniors. We had your brother, Jeff Schrum, who you interviewed before, who kind of helped guide us and I think set us on a path to be good our senior year. And I hope we did for the freshmen what Schrum and those guys did for us. Yeah. And you can learn from them. They know more than you do, and you'll eventually learn it, but focus on that. And along with the attitude, make sure you're putting in your top effort every day. You only have so many hours you're going to practice, so make that the hardest practice you have. In the game, you don't know how long coach is going to have you in there, so run as hard as you can and give everything for everybody while you have that opportunity. And if you do those 2 things, it's the 2 things you can control. I think you'll have a successful kind of freshman year and build off of that throughout your career.
I agree, man. That is definitely probably the only thing that you can guarantee, right? I can show up.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite quotes. It's like, what's the best ability? Availability, right? Like being ready.
Yeah.
So I agree 100%.
I mean, if you have the technical skill, you can improve on it, right? But it's going to take time. But your effort in making sure you get there, that's a given.
Yeah.
I'm going to borrow that line from you, though.
Yeah, that is a good one, huh? Well, Jamie, thank you so much, man. You've been awesome. And maybe we can do a follow-up later down the road.
Definitely. Thanks for thinking of me, and good luck with this project.
All right.